Students, in last class we have discussed about the deadlock. Deadlock ignorance and deadlock prevention. There is various methods in deadlock. Now we are going to discuss about deadlock avoidance. Students, now we are going to discuss about the deadlock avoidance. In the previous class we have discussed about the deadlock ignorance and deadlock prevention. That is, what are the different various methods to handle the deadlock. Okay. Now we are going to discuss about the deadlock avoidance. So this deadlock avoidance requires that all the systems has some additional information. That is the deadlock. How we get the deadlock avoidance? Here, this deadlock avoidance requires, means to avoid the deadlock, that situation requires the system has some additional information. That is the prior information before allocating the processes. Here, before allocating before allocating the processes to resources, so first we require for prior information. That means which process allocate which resource as well as how many number of resources. That means to execute this process it requires how many number of resources, and that information was prior. Is deadlock avoidance. How that means how we can avoid the deadlock. So before start our execution, that is process execution. So first of all, we know the prior information. That is this deadlock avoidance requires that the system has some additional prior information. So that is, this is the simplest and most useful model. It requires that each process declare a maximum. So how we get this prior information? That is, this is the simplest and most useful model. Requires that each process declares the maximum number of resources of each type. That means for executing particular process, this P1 process executes how many number of resources are required. That means suppose for example it requires some 4 resources. So for example P2 process executes suppose some 20 resources. That means this information, that means number of resources, how many number of resources are required, that knows before executing this process. Okay, here is deadlock avoidance requires a prior information. That is the prior information according to execute that particular process, how many number of resources are required. So for example, here P1 process is there. For executing this P1 process, it requires some resources. For example, 4. Suppose P2 process, suppose some 20. So coming to the P3 process, it requires some 10 resources like that. Okay. Now this is a simplest and most useful model requires that each process declare the maximum number of resources of each type, so that it may so how many number of processes, maximum how many number of resources of each type required to execute that process. The deadlock avoidance for this deadlock avoidance algorithm dynamically examines the resource allocation state. It examines the resource allocation state to ensure that there can never be a circular wake condition. That means here this deadlock avoidance algorithm dynamically examines the resource allocation state. That means suppose number of resources are allocated to this number of processes, suppose P1, P2 and so on, Pn processes are there. Here R1, R2 and so on, Rm resources are there. So maximum how many number of processes are required to execute this process? How many number of resources are execute for this process P1? So that is known earlier. Okay. So that is detected by this deadlock while allocating these resources by these processes. this deadlock avoidance algorithm dynamically examines this resource allocation state. So while allocating all these resources to these processes, here any circular weight is occurred. So if any circular weight is occurred, so what is the circular weight? That means P1 requires some resource. So this resource is already held by some process P2. So P2 requires some R2 resource. So this already used by some other process. So this is P3. You require some resource that is already held by process P1. This is called as a circular weight. Okay. So this deadlock avoidance algorithm dynamically examines the resource allocation state. So that allocation state never entered into a circular weight. Okay. So for that, this resource allocation avoidance algorithm is used. Here, this resource allocation state, how this resource allocation state is defined. So this resource allocation state is defined by the number of available and allocated resources. That means suppose how many number of resources maximum available. In that maximum available resources, how many number of resources are currently used and how many number of resources are demands the process. That means these three things. The resource allocation state is defined. Number of available processes. Suppose 10 available resources are there. Number of available resources are 10. In the currently allocated resources are 5 and maximum need is suppose here 10. So maximum 20 that means number of available. So see here number of available are 7. So resource 7 are available. So currently maximum. So currently used 5. Maximum 10. So this is the resource allocation state. Okay. So when a process that is here two basic facts are there. So if the system is in safe state, there is no deadlock. So first of all, what is a safe state? Here, when a process requests an available resource, system must decide if immediate allocation leaves the system in a safe state. That means suppose if this process P1, here process P1, P2, P3, P4. Suppose this P1 process use this R1 resource and here 4 resources are there, R2 resource and R3 resource and here R4 resource. That means for executing all these 4 processes it requires one resource. That is for executing P1 it requires the R1 resource. So that means each and every process you should allocate with some single resource. So there is no chance for uh, deadlock. So this situation is called as safe state. Safe state nothing but when a process requests an available resource. Suppose for example here R5 resource is there. So this resource is available. So this resource is never assigned to any other process. So now currently this resource is available. If this P1 process requests this resource, automatically this R5 is assigned to this P1. So this is called as safe state. That means here, when a process requests an available resource, system must decide if immediate allocation. So, system, it means when a process requires this R5 resource, so system must immediately, system must decide if immediate allocation. So, that means if immediately this resource is allocated this process P1, then there is no deadlock. That means here immediate allocation leaves the system in. Means ఇప్పుడు immediate this R5 process is assigned to this P1. Now it leaves the safe state. So here a system is in safe state if there exists a safe sequence of all processes. That means safe sequence. Here first P1 is executed using these resources. For example, here R3 resource is also there. So if R3 resource is used here, there is no problem. So after completion of this one, this again another process use this R3. That means that this is the safe sequence. There is no deadlock is occurred. This is called as a safe sequence. That is here sequence. Safe state means nothing but here if a system is in safe state means when a process requests a particular resource, that immediately allocated that resource, and there is no immediately allocated that. So that is called as, and this process P1 is not wait for that particular resource. Automatically, immediately that resource is assigned to this P1. Okay, this is called a safe state. So how it is possible? So here single resources are, that means process P1 assigned with some single P2 like this. In this case, there is no chance to assign the there is no unsafe state. That means if a system is in an unsafe state, means here while allocating this resource to this P1, now there is a chance for deadlock. This is called as unsafe state. Here, now see here, system is in safe state if there exists a safe sequence. And safe sequence in the sense, so this sequence, so first which process is executed, then next which process is executed, that is called a safe sequence. Okay, so this sequence P1, P2 and so on Pn is safe if for each Pi, so the Pi, the resources that Pi can still request can be satisfied by currently available resources. That means suppose P1, P2, Pn is the safe sequence. If safe sequence and for each Pi, the resources uh, Pi, the resources that Pj can still request can be satisfied by currently available resources plus resources held all the Pj. That means here suppose P1 assigns some resources. So P2 requests these resources. So here some resources currently available. So these directly assigned to this P1. So then P1 is executed and P2 is also executed without any disturbances. Okay, so this is called as a safe sequence. Then P1, P2, P1 is executed, next P2 is executed. So this is called as safe sequence. That means sequence P1, P2 and so on. Pn is a safe if for each Pi, the resources that Pj can still request can be satisfied by currently available resources plus resources held by all the Pj. And if Pj can some resources already hold in those resources plus currently available resources. So if Pi resource needs are not immediately available, then Pi can wait until Pj has finished. So when Pj is finished, Pi can obtain the needed resources. And if Pi resources needs are not immediately available, so then Pi wait until Pj finish. So when Pj is finished, Pi can obtain these needed resources. So return the allocated resources and terminate. So when Pi terminates, Pi plus can obtain its resources. That means suppose Pi requests some resources, those already hold by Pj. So this Pi is in waiting position until this Pj is finished. So once this Pj is finished, now these needed resources and whatever the resources are used by this process Pj, those are used by this Pi. Now once this Pi is completed, so all the resources are used by Pi plus 1. Okay, this is called as a safe sequence. Okay, so based on this safe sequence, here two points are given, two basic facts are given. That means if a system is in safe state, there is no deadlock. Okay, system is in safe state. That means so first Pi requires some resources which are currently available, currently used by Pj. So this is wait until this Pj is complete. So whatever the needed resources are used by this Pj, those are used by this Pi. So once it is terminated, now another process is used this needed resources. That means Pj, Pi, Pi plus 1. So this is what the safe state. That means if a system is in safe state, there is no deadlock. If a system is in unsafe state, so there is a possibility of deadlock. That means sometimes it is in unsafe state. That means మనకి ఇలా ఎగ్జిక్యూట్ అవుతున్నప్పుడు sometimes ఈ sequence if a system is in unsafe state, so possibility of deadlock. That means this deadlock occurred rarely. So this is every time deadlock is not occurred. This deadlock is occurred rarely. Okay, deadlock happens rarely. And when a system is in unsafe state, there is a chance for deadlock. Then compulsory, there is no deadlock if the system is in safe state. So whenever the deadlock is unsafe state, so now and whether can find out the safe state, there is no deadlock. So based on these concepts, we can avoid the deadlock. That is avoidance, nothing but ensure that a system will never enter into an unsafe state. If the system never enter into an unsafe state, then you can say that there is no deadlock. Here, so this is the system. So here state spaces. Here this is the unsafe space and this is the safe space. And here there is no deadlock. In the unsafe space there is a chance for deadlock. All unsafe sequences are not entering into the deadlock. The possibility of deadlock. Okay. Here deadlock avoidance can implemented through two methods. One is by using resource allocation graph and other one is by using Banker's algorithm. One is by using Banker's algorithm and other one is Banker's algorithm and other one is resource allocation graph. So in the resource allocation graph, we know that already what is the resource allocation graph here. This is what the request edge and this is what the assignment edge. This is what the assignment edge, this is a request edge. Request edge and assignment edge. So claim edge. So one more concept is a claim edge. We know that this. Okay, PI2 RJ indicate that the PJ may request resource RJ represented by a dashed line. That means here claim edge converts to a request edge when a process requests a resource. So in this case, claim edge nothing but. So this indicates that a process Pj may request, may or may not, may request resource Rj represented by dashed line. That is here. This is what dashed line Rj. So now this is called as a claim edge. Okay. So when this claim edge converted into request edge, claim edge converts to request edge when a process requests a resource. So when a resource is released by a process, assignment edge reconverts to a claim edge. Suppose ante ఇప్పుడు suppose P1 to next condition. Resources must be claimed by prior in the information. That means what is the concept of this claimed edge? It gives a prior information. Suppose here this R1 resource is assigned to P1. Okay. Now this P1 this is the claim edge. Okay. And in this case, this R1 is used. R1 is used here. Now this P2 P2 try to use this R1 resource, but R1 is already used by P1. So now P1 requires, that means P1 may not require this R2. This is edge. So whenever this R2 is required by this P1, now this is converted to what? Request edge. Request edge. Now this is request edge. Now this is used by, suppose if P2 converts this into request edge. Whenever this P2 is also used this R2, it is converted into request edge. Now in this case, so for example, suppose this is what unsafe state in a resource allocation graph. Here this R2 is already used by this P2. Okay, R2 is already used by this. And here, so this it gives what here and here. Suppose this R2 is used and this P2 R1 is already used by P1. Now P1 may or may not use this R2. Now this R2, this P2 is also request for this R2. This so that this request edge this claim edge is converted into request edge, and after that this R2 is now allocated to this P2. Now this is converted to like this. Now you can observe here from here to here, here to here, here to here, here to. Now there is a deadlock state. And here resource allocation graph. If one resource contain only one instance, then we can avoid this deadlock through by using this claim edge. Okay, so that is possible like this. This is the one. So if the resource requires contains multiple edges, this is not possible by that means to avoid the deadlock is not possible by using resource allocation graph. So that is possible by using this Banker's algorithm. So that means if the multiple instances are there, how the deadlock avoidance is done. That is what the Banker's algorithm. Next class we are discussed about this. In the next class we are discussed about this Banker's algorithm.